Hey everyone, it's Amy again. I just wanted to take a few minutes and help you with a quick tip about how to reduce some stress. So I imagine you might be feeling a little stressed right now, a little anxious. The reason I know this is because your heart is beating and you're breathing. We all have a little bit of stress from time to time. So here is what I learned over the years about how to be able to relax even in stressful situations. So the first thing I want you to do is just take a couple of deep breaths. So just inhale for a couple seconds and exhale for the same amount of time. And keep doing that. And what I don't know about you, but what I feel is just kind of a slowing down and just a settling of tension in my body and anxious thoughts. So what I was talking to my brother about this a couple of months ago and just asked him to take a quick breath. So let's everybody do that. Let's just take an inhale, a pretty deep inhale, not really thinking about it, just inhale. And then I want you to think about what just happened. So when you inhaled, did your stomach get pulled in and up? Or when you inhaled, did your belly kind of drop and push out? When you inhaled, did your sternum lift? And did your shoulders go up? Like that? Or was it a filling up of the lungs from the bottom up? So the best way to initiate that rest response and kind of a relaxation response is to take a low belly breath. So instead of lifting your shoulders and your chest when you take a breath, you take a breath into your low belly and really expand your belly. You can feel it in your ribs until it ultimately comes up to the top of your chest. A lot of times when we're stressed or in a hurry or rushed or scared, we breathe up here. And what that does is that just really excites your fight or flight response. And that's kind of how we're conditioned to breathe. I know that's how I breathed for most of my life growing up. And actually I think what I finally discovered was that I held my breath. I actually would stop breathing, and then when I noticed that I was holding my breath, I would let out a huge sigh. And people would say, "Oh, are you bored?" And I said, "No, I just kind of forgot that I wasn't breathing, and then, needed to kind of take a gasp for air." So the way I remember learning this was in chorus I want to say it was fourth grade. It was still when I was living in New York, so I was pretty young. And one of the exercises the chorus teacher had us do was lay down on the floor. And she had us put our hands on our belly, and then you would want your hands to raise on the inhale and lower on the exhale. And what that's doing anatomically is, so your diaphragm kind of sits under your lungs, and then when you take an inhale, the diaphragm moves down, and that's your belly getting out of the way, so your diaphragm can move down to give your lungs some room to expand and fill up. So instead of breathing up here, and actually when you pull in your gut when you breathe, you're holding in your diaphragm, so that's actually giving your lungs less space to have to do a full inhale. So that just keeps your breath really up high in the chest, which again makes you feel stressed. So if you want to induce that rest and relax response, you can just consciously breathe into the low belly. And you want a slow inhale and a slow exhale, and ideally those should be about the same length. The other thing you can kind of play with is where your breath is going. So you can push your belly out and fill your lungs, One thing I like to play with is filling in the side ribs. So if you take a breath, you still are kind of holding in from the front of the body and you're pushing out through the sides. And you can kind of feel that expansion coming out here. The other thing, you can breathe into your back. So your front stays completely flat, your sides stay flat, and you can actually feel an expansion through your back. And it's just fun to play with. The important thing is just to get it out of your chest and down into the lower parts of the lungs, and that'll help you relax. This little toy I got many years ago. It hooks up to your iPhone. This is the old version. They have a new version now, but I just use the old version still, since it still works. And it's from a company called HeartMath, and they actually do research about meditation and heart rate variability and its effect on stress levels and longevity. So what you do, so there's an app that goes with it. It's called Inner Balance. I don't know. And so you can kind of see it. So this was my, this is my meditation from this morning. And you can kind of see I meditated for 15 minutes and I was kind of up and down in the green. I always have a hard time getting started, so I guess it's not going to let me go on the timeline. But it kind of, green means you're in very high heart rate variability coherence. When it's down in the red, it means you're out of coherence. So you just clip it to your ear, and what it's doing is it's taking your pulse, and I'm not exactly sure how it all works together, but I definitely notice that if I start shallow breathing, it drops down into the red, and if I do the breathing, there's a little pacer on it too that kind of scrolls back and forth across the screens, and that's kind of, you want your breath to be equaled and measured. And it'll ping at you when you're in coherence, it's up in the green. If you drop down, it pings on you. I often notice that my mind has wandered, or I brought my breathing up from the belly into the chest, and you can instantly take it back down there until it tells you that you're back in coherence. And the feedback is really good because it's so easy to lose track, and you'll start just kind of getting into your old habits of breathing up in your chest. What's great about this is just it's a practice. So you keep doing it, and I find myself that now, even without the app or the thing attached to my ear, if I'm stressed, I can take the slow, deep breaths, and I can literally feel myself calm down, which I think we all know that stress is a killer. It leads to all sorts of terrible things, and it's just not a good way to feel on a normal basis. And if we can find a free way to lower stress in any moment, I think that's a great tool to have. The other technique that I know a lot about and have used myself, it's kind of box breathing. So you inhale for a count, hold for that same account, exhale for a count, hold for that same count. And you just keep doing that just with that rhythm, and it absolutely brings down your stress and helps you relax. So the app is called Inner Balance if you're looking for a toy. If not, just practice the breathing, and when you notice yourself breathing up here, move it down to the belly and slow it down. If you find yourself really inhaling and exhaling quickly, just slow the pace and lower it, and really expand your lungs and try it. Give it a shot. See if it works for you. See if you notice that you can control your anger or your quickness to rage. I actually started using this daily when I had a really stressful job at a solar company in San Francisco, and I say that job drove me to meditate, and it was a saving grace. I'm not sure if I would have survived as long as I did if I wasn't meditating every day. And you don't need to do it for 30 minutes. You can do, I started off with 3, I'm sure. I'd set the timer for 3 minutes and just kind of hold on, and even if my mind raced everywhere for the 3 minutes, I just committed to sit there. And even now, today I was up to 15 minutes, and my brain, if I get 3 or 4 seconds of a nice calm feeling, I feel pretty good. And I have to remind myself that that meditating actually feels good, and I want to keep doing it, because we do get busy in our everyday, and we want to just kind of, oh, I don't have time, let me just put that down and I'll just do it tomorrow. But it's not something you can do once and expect any result. It is something that you have to do every day consistently, and it does get easier and it does make a difference. But the only way you'll ever know is if you try it yourself. And don't do it for 5 days and say it's not working. If you do it for 15 days and you don't feel any difference, then I don't know what to tell you. But along my path, every teacher that I've ever experienced who was asked, what was the one thing that really helped you in everything that you do? And their answer is starting a meditation practice. So that's what I have to say about that. And if you don't like the word meditation and you don't think you can meditate, well, then don't use that word and just call it belly breathing. And just think about slowing down your breath and moving it into your belly and out of your chest. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions. And if you find this information helpful, I'm so happy. And if there's anyone that you know that you think might enjoy the information that I share here, feel free and invite them to the group. And I hope that I'll have more tips to share with you in the next couple weeks. And anything right now that we can have that reduces our stress is good for everyone. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you online again later. Bye.